Our next presenter, Mr. Greg Washington. He is the founder, owner of PUMC, Patients Unlimited Marketing Consultants, a website company, international website company. One of the original pioneers. I don't go into long bios because I have them. All I would like to do is have you really understand that Greg's lecture on the secret sauce of success with internet analytics. If you can't manage what you measure and measure what you manage, don't bother. It is truly my pleasure to introduce a colleague, but a very close friend of mine, since I've been in this business, Mr. Greg Washington. I said I would only hug my dog, but this guy.
You know, it's challenging for a black guy to blush. I mean, you got to really work at it. And Jay is just one of the grandest people I've met in this whole business. One of the few guys is like myself, a former practice manager. You see this woman gawking? She's gawking because of the word analytics. I think many of us look at the word analytics as being somewhat oppressive and intimidating. But really, it's one of your best friends. I want to speak to it. And the purpose of my presentation is not to teach you about analytics in a half an hour, because I can't. But what I want to do is I want to have you make friends with the concept of analytics. And as Tim has so frequently pointed out, you aren't insane, and he didn't imply that at all. I'm more the empathetic guy. I think you're probably just overwhelmed. There's just too much to do. There's so many right ways of doing it, wrong ways of doing it. So your problem in life is really, well, what do I do next? Well, I believe analytics has the one fantastic feature of telling you what to do next. Because you can't really do it all, and there's no proven formula for doing it right the first time. When many of you know, and I see clients in the room here that were our first clients 23 years ago on the internet. We were a marketing firm before that, and also a management consulting firm. And that's one of the reasons, by the way, when we have a client, we refer to Mara and Jay, because we know they have a management perspective, as my team have. And I'm an old guy, obviously, you can see that, but I've got all the young kids behind me that are working on all of the technologies and making things happen. So let me kind of get into it. Whose job is it? Whose job is analytics? Or analytics, whoever the grammar is right. Give it to me. Whose job is it? Whose job is it?
Practice manager.
Practice manager? The internet person that's kind of you're working with? Well, which one of these people? The doctor? It's everybody's job. Because if it's everybody's job, then we make the most use of it. And one of the things that Tim was alluding to, and I think he's absolutely right, is how you use data to get a result. And the precision of that use has a lot to do with knowing what you're doing, what you're not doing. Now, I think analytics is money. That's what it really is. It's money. It's dollars. It comes right down to making things happen. And by the way, the first thing that you saw right there was a mobile device, because that's where it's going to be. Google wanted it that way. They made it that way. It's not going to change. And it has revolutionized every concept of marketing of internet services. Now you got email, and I go for it, and I think she's absolutely right about everything he said, by the way. Everything's on it. But the bottom line is, to whom you market, and what you market, and when you market, and how you integrate it into the other things that need to be done, that's the hard part. That telephone goes where the action is, because those people are pre-qualified because they called you because they knew you were doing something good, or heard about you. So basically, when you say analytics could solve problems, right? I want to show you how it could solve problems. Now I want to talk about 5 problems. And as I talk about these 5 problems, at the end of each section, there's going to be a shortened URL. You want to take a picture of that, because that will take you to a blog that can't be found right now by anybody, that will actually give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps, and also give you, tomorrow we'll have actually have some of the reports that I'll be showing you. Mara's also right. You know, why do I say secret sauce, and why do I say inspect what you expect? Running a firm that's doing internet marketing and social media for 23 years, I've learned that most of my clients, during the initial engagement, during the honeymoon, they're really involved with all the, but they think they understand, which they don't, by the way. And they get to ask all the important questions after that particular buzz goes off. So I think you really have to order reports and information. And I'm going to show you the reports to order. I'm not going to show you by name, I'm going to show you by visual pictures of them. Because different organizations will describe their reports differently. So the first is, You know, is your internet program working, you know? We're going to talk about how to examine that. Are you going to continue to get tower results? Tim said, no. No, not the way you think, because that desktop is gone. It's a mobile device and it's got some applications. Does social media, is it worth the while? Is it a time sponge? Did you just take time up and you don't really know what you get? Show you how to basically find that what it does and doesn't get. By the way, again, you can just go to a place and you'll get all this information. Don't worry about taking pictures. Just remember, I'm out here to teach you. I'm trying to show you what you've got to do and how you've got to do it. Paid results. Everybody freaks out when you start talking about paying per click. Oh, but that's where it's going to be. Okay, so, and then the other is conversion. What is a conversion? A conversion is when someone takes an action, sends you an email, makes a phone call, talks to you. That's a conversion. That's one of the test questions, by the way. So, problem number one, content. Well, content is moved from words to pictures to videos. We've all heard a picture worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000 words. It gets it done quickly. And that is the content that also Google ranks highest in terms of whether it keeps them on the web page, it tells the whole story, and it links back to their information. So, content, words are important. Yeah. Pictures and photo galleries, critical. Yes, the photo gallery is critical. Because patients will also, if you're real smart, you'll organize your photo gallery in a way that is also embedded into your videos. Here's the report we're talking about, right? Now, again, you can't see all the detail on it, but here's the big picture. In Google Analytics, this is Google's world. This is Google's world. So I don't want to talk about Bing and Yahoo and all the rest of them. If 95% of all the action comes from Google, let's talk about Google and surrender, okay? Now, what we're doing here is just a client that had a problem. They wanted to make results happen quickly. And they kind of stagnated. So what do? We went to a report that's called Channels that's in Google, and it basically shows what's going on with the, well, actually, this is actually the top content report is what it is. What's going on with the top content? So our first rule was, we're going to go right into that report and start wiggling with, and this is the interview, by the way. Where do you start? But we're going to go for reviews, because reviews are very important. Reviews are replaced word of mouth. We're going to get into that Google Analytics key report system. Now, I'll talk about some key reports in a moment that I call the vital signs. We went to the Google My Business page, which has a lot of information about who makes phone calls, who makes these emails, who actually goes in and finds people, wow, how they're using the maps to get to you. To get into phone tracking. To whom do we attract information to? People who called you. Google doesn't give you phone numbers, by the way, and will never, even using AdWords, but their system for gathering. And my disclosure is, I will be alluding to and referring to services that we do provide, but I'm not going to solicit you in any oblique way, any direct way. Okay, and then also, in helping this client, we didn't go with social media because it's a slow starter, and the client wanted fast results. So what do? We went into those, I call it the vital signs, those 4 reports. The audience overview, the channel review report, the pages, which describes the content that was on the pages, and the device management, because it all is moved toward mobile. Then we said, okay, fine, let's go to YouTube, because YouTube has also analytics. Everything I'm mentioning, there's an analytic component to it. And this is why it's everybody's job, because it was just the doctor's job. If it was just the marketing manager's job, if it was just the social media director's job, you wouldn't really know what you're doing. Now, here's the key. I'm looking at you. There's a client back there that 23 years ago brought us in for a new practice, and we basically made things happen. We used to do something called a marketing plan and strategy. It's a real big money maker for us at the time, because people didn't know what they wanted to do. They don't do it anymore. We don't sell it anymore. People don't buy it anymore. But the plan without a marketing plan and strategy is a foolish plan. Now, Kim referred to insanity. I want to refer to basically denial. Because if you don't have a plan and strategy, you're going to waste your money, waste your time, and burn out your staff, and give your patients away to your competitors. Okay, then we went to the Google My Business page. Now we've predicted the future successfully for a couple of decades. Take a little secret. You're going to see Google Plus disappear. And you're going to see Google Plus characteristic tool into Google My Business page. Several things I'll be kind of giving you a forecast in terms of what the weather's going to be in the next couple of years. Now, there's a link. Now, if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture of that. Now, what you want to do with that link is when you get it, just copy it down, paste it into your browser, and you'll go to a page and he'll ask you, yes, he'll ask you for your name and the email address, as Tim said. We read our own book. And in that, you'll get a checklist of what to do, how to do it, you'll get some copies of the reports, and you'll actually tomorrow be able to actually hear this entire presentation all over again, okay? So, next problem. Will the top results that we now receive continue to be given to us? The answer is no. Why? Well, let me give you an example. Here's what you do. Here's what we do. We have a system, a very nice piece of software, that before we bring on a new account, we say, here's where you are today, and quantitatively, here's where we're going to take you. So we do a before and after, using the vernacular. And we say, okay, fine, so we take a client and we say, no, hey, you moved to the first page, you're on the second page. We say that first page doesn't count anymore, because look at this. Here's something I did just yesterday. I said, let me kind of go to some top cities, and look at what's going on in Las Vegas, in Greenville, North Carolina, and California, and so forth. I want you to notice one thing. What do you notice right there? What do you notice right there? What's the most obvious thing? Huh? Can you see one organic search result? Does being on the first page have any significance anymore? Are you going to be believers in AdWords some way or the other? Do you believe that if you don't get involved with AdWords, even though you've got the money and got the time, you will lose your space because everybody else has gained a quality score of using AdWords, and you aren't even at the table, even with the money in your pocket, and your banker's backing you, and your banker's going to ask you, by the way, what's your quality score? Okay? So back to just looking at what the basics are. Again, I talked about channels. I kind of jumped ahead of myself. But the channel is direct traffic, referred traffic, organic traffic. So we look at these kind of things and we say, okay, fine, where do we start? Because we don't want you to feel as if you've been wiped out. We drill down into what the facts are and then amplify those facts. There's a link. Again, I'm not trying to, there's a link for that section. Everything you want is all right there. Okay? Okay, the problem 3. Is social media a time sponge?
Can you go back?
Oh, sure. Is social media a time sponge? No, it's not. This is the Google My Business page data. Look at what you got here. You've got information in terms of what time of the week are you busiest. You got a little more, but you look up at the upper, your right side. It tells you how many people visited your website, who requested directions, what call, how many people made 4 calls. This is social media, by the way. Here's Facebook, the information. Again, you can see the detail when you get to the report. Reviews. Now, reviews are perhaps, I think, the most powerful innovation in internet marketing that we've seen ever, for a variety of reasons. No stars is not the person I'm going to select. Now, people can say stars are corny, but some stars make a difference. And bad stars aren't bad because they validate good stars if you have a lot of good stars. The bottom line is that sequence of actual stars and reviews should be on every single page of your website. And we have a system that does simply that. And it goes on, finds those reviews, and accumulates those reviews, and allows you to associate those reviews with email blasts and so forth, okay? All right, here's another look at, again, information you can get from the Google My Business page section. Again, you can see that. And when I talk about those stars you see at the very top of that page, it's very interesting, but you can see it right there, 100 so many stars. Believe me, people salute that. And again, it's on every single page. You can refer to sections of those reviews. Those are the 4- and 5-star reviews that have been averaged. And then when you go there, there is actually a microsite that has all those reviews that actually sends pages to you, okay? Here's the hyperlink for that. Again, what I want you to really understand is that I'm just trying to say analytics is something you want to get involved with. You don't want to push it off as being something that, well, maybe the scientists will use it, or maybe somebody else in need will use it. No, it's going to be your roadmap and your key to success. I have a slide at the very end that will actually have all of it. It's easier if you want to segment out to go directly to the specific information. Okay, paid search results. Pay per click, pay to play. Well, I don't know, how many of you are using AdWords right now? How many of you actually go to the Google AdWords report section and are actually pumping out reports? Raise your hand. How many of you understand the code? Just you got it. 1. I got to tell you something. On our staff, we have Google certified specialists. And candidly, I've been doing this for lots of years, and I have 4 or 5 people doing it for lots of years. And it can be very confusing. Google just upped the game and made it even more hard to read. So we give our clients, it's a very simple report that looks like this. It just shows really what the bottom line is. what the conversion is, cost per click, cost per impressions, and so forth. It comes right down to, if you look at here, over here on this side, this side is the most important part. You can see I'm losing my hair, I guess, something like that. PRP, what is up there? I saw that, I think I had it. And I used to have a lot of hair. Remember Jay? Remember that?
I don't know anything about it.
Well, Jay and I are both we're sort of hair deficient. Okay, so notice here. Don't tell me that when you convert $2,000 a month into $20,000, this is something I need to do and want to do. Here's where it's going to be. It's going to be mobile. You can't deny it. Phone tracking is what it's all about. Now, here's something that's really key. This is also on the test. Google, Facebook, no one gives you phone numbers, addresses, and locations as a byproduct. But when you're using a phone tracking system, we have several that we use, and we design them for our clients and teach our client staff how to answer phones. You know what campaign's working, which is your first hero. You know what the actual phone number is that the person used to call in if it has been not blocked or disclosed. You know, or where they're calling from geographically. You know how long the phone call lasts and why is that important, because those are the ones you want to go back and monitor. When you hear that message, this phone call has been recorded for training purposes, well, what the hell are you going to do? Call everybody up on the list? No. It's only those 4 or 5 minute calls that you want to really go back and track, because that's where the action is. They asked Jesse James, why do you hold up banks? He says, it's simple. That's where the money is. Well, it's the same thing here. The money is where the time is, okay? And also you can listen to that call if you have a good tracking system. So we've got that going on for us. Now, landing pages. Tim, you look at the landing pages. There used to be a day where you would actually design a page, a quote for landing. And really today, it's all about every page on a website should be a landing page. Every single page should be a landing page. Okay, there's a link you want. If you want to know more about AdWords, and again, there's a checklist there. We've got information that you can go to, you can use right now. There's not anything going, I guess there's one little solicitation question on there. Would you like to contact us? That's it. But the others is stuff you can use today, right away. All right, problem 5. And I'm trying to get to this because I want to help you pass this test, because you're here to pass the test. So I'll go over some of my questions just so you have it. Inquiry conversion. I'm going to talk about that real quickly. There's 3 ways inquiries come to you. Actually, 4 ways. When I did this slide, I forgot the most important. And just see if anybody can just quickly tell me what did I forget. Inquiries. What did I forget? Patients in your office. I forgot them. So you can have phone calls that are inquiring. You can have emails inquiring. Now, again, those phone calls will track on the same way. So I'll fast. I'm going to move to this report here that will take your email campaigns and go to another step and give you a log of those emails and classify those responders of those calls into specific sub-mailing lists that look like, mailing lists, so that you can actually you can do some additional marketing by targeting groups.